Interesting thought process.
That's a great question. Oh, that's really hard. Oh my God, I didn't realize this was going to be like this.
Wow, that's a good question.
Another good but difficult question.
Welcome to Casual Conversations with your host, Mike Oppenheim.
Hi, everyone. This is Mike Oppenheim, and today we have Dr. Mitchel Adler. Dr. Adler is a licensed clinical psychologist, certified group psychotherapist, fellow of the American Group Psychotherapy Association, and the director of Mind-Body Intelligence Consulting. He has served on the faculty of the UC Davis School of Medicine and is co-author of the book Promoting Emotional Intelligence in Organizations. Let's welcome Dr. Adler to the show. Hi, Mitchel. How are you doing?
Thanks so much, Mike. I'm doing well, and I'm excited to be here to talk to you.
So before we begin, I just would like it if you could just walk us really quickly through your academic career, just basically like where'd you study and what degrees do you have, just so our audience has a familiar understanding of who they're listening to today.
Okay. I went to University of Michigan in Ann Arbor for my undergrad, and then I got a doctorate in clinical psychology from Rutgers University, the Graduate School of Applied and Professional Psychology there.
Oh, cool. So are you still in the Davis, Sacramento area of California?
So yeah, I live in Davis, and I did a postdoctoral internship or fellowship, that is, at UC Davis. And I currently now train psychiatry residents and in group psychotherapy, which is one of my areas of specialization.
So that's really cool. I love that area. I grew up in the Berkeley, Oakland area, and I used to go there a lot. I really like that part.
Oh, nice.
So I think my first question is to have you sort of define stress for us. I mean, this word gets thrown around a lot and everyone seems to use it differently. So I'm just curious, since we're going to be talking about it today, how exactly do you define the word stress, and how does that tie into what you refer to as stress management?
Sure. Well, stress is anything that causes us to have to adapt or adjust in some way. So, for instance, depending on the subjectivity of the person, just having a conversation can be stressful, because if they have an auditory processing problem, it's more stressful to adapt to that kind of environment. So it depends on how well we are adjusted to whatever context we're in. So anytime that we have to adapt or deal with any kind of change, you're going to experience some form of stress. So in short, what I like to tell people is stress is change. Anytime there's change, you're going to have some form of stress.
Wow. So, I mean, that really makes me think about like this era in particular, like the era that you and I have grown up in and seen. You know, we both were here before the advent of cell phones and the internet, and now we're here with it. So I'm just always curious, is, in your expert opinion, is this time different? I mean, like when you compare people who saw electricity come around, or radio and TV, or even like way back with cavemen and fire or the wheel, is this era more stressful actually? Or do you think it's just normal and like all eras are equally stressful for people? I mean, we've got like tons of food delivery, so much nice things. I know that some of the world lives in abject poverty, but it's still, if we were to spread it evenly, it just seems safer right now.
Oh, that's an interesting question. It's so hard to know there are so many changes that happen at once now compared to before. We can find out information that's happening around the world within seconds. The 24-hour news cycle, which is a result of our access to information through the internet. So I would imagine, if I was going to hypothesize, I might suggest that we might be living in a more stressful environment to the extent that we have to adapt to so many changes. That being said, it seems like we're also really getting better at learning how to engage. In fact, we're becoming organized, that we get more stress when we don't have a lot of engagement. Kids can't stop. Not even kids, adults too, can't go to the bathroom without having their phone, in their hand. Imagine going to the bathroom without having your phone. People find that like stressful now.
Oh my God. Yeah, no, I'm like ashamed to admit this, but I also have to admit that I had to set up so many rules for my phone, including bringing it to the bathroom. And I have it under control, but the fact that I even have to control it is just so embarrassing to me.
Yes.
And I fight it all the time, but I know I need my phone, and I know I like some of the connectivity. So it's really hard. What about like things like following the news? I mean, we live in this like really polarized era where some people will yell at you for not following the news. Other people will tell you that the stupidest thing you can do is follow the news. There's fake news, there's misinformation, disinformation, all these confusing terms. And meanwhile, a lot of people swear that they just feel a sense of peace when they check out and they just are with the people they love and their family. So what's what's your opinion on that? Like, how much time should people be dedicating to following the world and like what's going on with current events versus just living your personal life and staying out of it?
Yeah, so again, I would say this is very subjective. Some people feel very unsettled by not knowing what's going on, and so it's soothing and regulating for them to feel like they have an idea of control. Now, Ellen Langer out of Harvard University has some research on the illusion of control, that we actually think we're in a lot more control of things than we are. But the sense that we feel like we're in control can be soothing. For others, listening to the news can actually overwhelm them. It can feel like, wow, there's too many chaotic things happening in the world that I can't control. And as a result of getting that information, they find themselves more distressed. So the key to me is really trying to understand ourselves well enough to know what works best for us.
And so I think what really stood out to me is the very first part of your answer was actually about how it's so subjective. And so really, because that's kind of what the other podcast leads me to always wonder is how much of everything is subjective, or is there any sort of objectivity to any of our experiences?
Uh-huh. Well, it's funny. I don't know if you've ever seen the movie Memento.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So I have a...
Hey everyone, that's it for the free version of this podcast. If you want to hear the full one, just head over to mikeyop.com and become a premium subscriber. That's MIKEYOPP.com. Thanks for listening.